right there on the ground, really on the dock. Our Bill Mitch is on the dock live in Chincoteague waiting for the ponies to come across. How's it looking, Bill?
Not too bad, Todd. People call me Mike Lichniak all the time. Apparently, we look similar. Now, mentioned Mike Lichniak. He said we have a window. I think I see the window, and it's right overhead. We have a little bit of blue right above us, and then a lot of gray out there. We're hoping the gray stays away because, Todd, as you mentioned, we're hoping for 8:15, 8:20-ish. Right now, this is the driest that we've been all morning, but we got the jackets, we have umbrellas on standby, and so does everybody else because it has been a very, very wet morning. Now, Todd, as you mentioned, you were out here last year and you saw the marsh. That was a sunny day, and the marsh was kind of mucky. It was not that fun to walk through. As you can imagine, this morning it was pretty rough. If we take a peek over here, these are all the people who came out, and God bless them because they walked through that marsh. It was bad enough, and then the rain on top of it, the mud was knee deep, and I saw a lot of parents with kids on their back walking them through, and I heard a lot of little kids saying, I can't wait to go home. Hopefully that changes and they enjoy themselves during the swim, but it was a pretty rough morning. But as we see, the weather's okay for right now. We got a couple minutes, and what's nice is, I know it's really far, so we're not going to zoom in, but we can see the ponies. They're out there, and when we first got here this morning, we couldn't see the lighthouse. It was very foggy, it was very rainy, it was very dark and gray. So Mike mentioned a window, he mentioned a little bit of a clearing. It looks like we're in that clearing, and we're hoping that clearing stays hopefully for the next 15, 20 minutes. Let's at least get the ponies across the water. It's about 4.5 minute swim. Let's get them across the water, let them hang out here, and then we'll deal with the rain. But let's at least get through the pretty cool event. So like I said, you can still see the umbrellas. Everybody's got the jackets on. They're all bundled up. We're hoping we stay dry for at least the next couple minutes. So we'll check back in again soon, and we're waiting for the red flare. When we see the red flare, we're almost ready to go. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Bill, thanks for that. Now, we also should mention people have gotten kind of accustomed to this beautiful Chopper 16 shot that we get. The weather is going to prohibit that today. So we also don't have our drone shot, so we don't have that today. But we do have Bill, we have Angelo Bavaro.
The safety's first, so the chopper can't get in the air.
That's right.
With the bad weather. And I don't know if you saw that. Well, we panned the camera over, and those people standing along that fence, that is right where the ponies will end up. Right. So they have they paid a price to get close.
They are devout fans of those ponies, for sure.
It's going to be worth it when those ponies come across. We mentioned Angelo Bavaro. He is down amongst the people there, trying to get as close as they can. Let's go out to Angelo now and see what he is seeing. Angelo?
Jackie, Todd, we are standing by the entrance to the marsh area here. We've been here since about 4 o'clock in the morning. It has been raining on and off. Luckily, we lucked out right now, and I'm hoping it sticks around. Not seeing any rain, but that does not mean the effects of the rain are not being felt here in Chincoteague. Just take a look right here next to me. This is a scene we've been seeing all morning long. Folks trying to make their way through the marsh area here, which has turned into a bit of a swamp, getting that last-minute seat to the pony swim. We've seen folks in their bare feet, sacrificing a good pair of flip-flops and sneakers, trying to get through here. And if my photographer can pan down here and show the scene, this is what we're dealing with. Just a bunch of messy sludge in this area here. But again, the excitement building. We've seen crowds coming out all morning long. The rain not keeping people away. And we are here with one very excited person right now, Debbie from West Virginia. Debbie, first pony swim. How excited are you?
Oh, I am. This is a lifetime dream has come true for me. So I'm super excited to be here. I can't wait to see the ponies.
Awesome. And what brings the interest around, just seeing all the pictures, videos?
Oh, as a young girl, I read all the Misty of Chincoteague series and books. In fact, today I'm reading it with my grandson, and they're hopefully going to get to see them as well.
Awesome. And fun fact, this is my first pony swim as well, so we're sharing this together. And I think one of the best parts about it is just sharing this experience with everybody around you. Have you met anybody interesting or,
Oh, we've met so many wonderful people. Our friend Jim over here from upstate New York, and just families and people from all over the place. It's just unbelievable. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. And obviously weather, a big concern this morning. That keeping you away at all?
Not at all. We rode our bikes from where we're staying over in Main Street, and we were soaked several times, but look, we've dried off pretty well now.
There you go. Yeah, I was soaking wet about 4 o'clock this morning. I'm very dry now, so we're already getting excited. If you actually take a look, we've got a saltwater cowboy coming through right now. There you go. We are anxiously awaiting this pony swim, guys. I will send it back to you guys in the studio.
Watch out for the Saltwater Cowboys, Angelo. It's so cool just to see how many families do make this a tradition, and it sounds like another tradition being started with that family.
And the good spirits.
Oh, attitude's everything. Attitude is everything.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break. We should be within about 10 minutes, maybe a little less, of those ponies hitting the water and swimming across the channel. We'll be right back.
It's a new day on the Eastern Shore. Safford Automotive Group is now in Salisbury. Come see why over 250,000 people bought and serviced with us this last year. Safford offers the best prices, best selection, and best service. And now we're bringing the best to the Eastern Shore. Best prices on the best selection of new Kia Fortes, Sorrentos, Sportages, and Optimas. And always exceptional service after the sale. Now the choice is yours. Choose Safford. It's a new day on the Eastern Shore. Safford Automotive Group is now in Salisbury. Come see why over 250,000 people bought and serviced with us this last year. Safford offers the best prices, best selection, and best service. And now we're bringing the best to the Eastern Shore. Best prices on the best selection of new F-150s, Explorers, Fusions, and Escapes. And always exceptional service after the sale. Now the choice is yours. Choose Safford. It's a new day on the Eastern Shore. Safford Automotive Group is now in Salisbury. Come see why over 250,000 people bought and serviced with us this last year. Safford offers the best prices, best selection, and best service. And now we're bringing the best to the Eastern Shore. Best prices on the best selection of new Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams during the summer clearance event. And always exceptional service after the sale. Now the choice is yours. Choose Safford.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the 93rd Annual Chincoteague Pony Swim. They are going to be in the water here in a matter of moments, we are told. So before the break, Angela was talking to a woman from West Virginia, and literally people come from all over the world to see this. Last year when I was there, I met a woman from Quebec, Canada, and one woman who had been, she was, I don't know, 44, 45, had been there every year of her life. She grew up in the area and then moved to Jersey or Pennsylvania, comes back every year to watch it.
And I love the story about now they're reading the book with her grandchild, right. Misty of Chincoteague, which I know I read, and I've always wanted to get out there in person. I don't really want to stand in the marsh, but this is from last year. We don't want anybody to think this is from this year, but this is video from last year's swim. And this year there are about 150 adult wild ponies, between 60 and 70 foals, all that were born in the spring, and the Saltwater Cowboys have been rounding up all the ponies since the weekend, both the northern and southern ends of Assateague Island. Now the ponies will be brought down to the Assateague Channel right now, where they will be swimming across the Chincoteague to Chincoteague Island. Yep, it's going to be exciting. Let's go back out to Bill Mitch, standing by with a great spot on the dock out there as we await the red flare, as he said.
Yeah, we're definitely waiting for that red flare, Todd. And Jackie mentioned the roundup, all the ponies being together. We're a little far away, but I kind of want to give you an idea of where we're standing right now as we wait for that red flare. Kevin's on the camera. Kevin's going to help us out, and we're going to zoom in way out there. I know it's far, and I know our camera can only zoom so far, but that is out there several hundred yards away beyond the boats. That's where our ponies are right now. We're waiting for that red flare. There's a gentleman who's going to walk by in just a moment, probably taking some good pictures of all those ponies. But if you can see them, Kev, I know you're zooming in, they're all the way out there. So Kev, if we zoom back out, then we're gonna get an idea of where these ponies are going next. We'll see the flare, they're gonna walk down that marshy island area, and obviously where all the boats are, where everyone's set up, that's where our ponies are gonna be swimming, hopefully within the next few minutes. If we look straight across here, you see the boat with the red flag maybe a little bit, Kev, if you can zoom in, right where that Coast Guard boat is. There's almost 2 fences, it looks like, very temporary fences that have been put up, but the ponies are gonna come through there, start their swim. I heard the gentleman on the loudspeaker say that this is a high water swim, so once they're in the water, we're probably gonna only see noses, eyes, and ears, but they're okay, they've done it a lot of times, and they're gonna make their way over, and then once they get through the water, they're gonna be right here. Now, I don't wanna brag too much, that this is a pretty good spot, because this is where our ponies are going to end up. Now, once they're here, they got about a 45-minute to an hour rest because they just swam for a while. 4.5-minute swim. I would need a rest as well. So they're going to hang out here for a while. All the folks that you saw over there, they're going to have a chance to make their way back through the marsh, which probably won't be that fun, and kind of clear out of the way, because the ponies are actually going to make their way from here straight down that way, because they're going to be then paraded over to the carnival ground. So if we take one more peek around, Kev, if you don't mind, let's go back here to the left. You know we're getting close when you see those Saltwater Cowboys, because we saw the one go by Angela a few minutes ago. They're waiting over there for when these ponies come in and start to round up here. We can hear Denise Bowden. She's the PR person for the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department over the loudspeaker right now. She's thanking everybody for being here because that's when you know we're getting pretty close. So again, ponies over there, swimming over there, ending up here. We're in a good spot, so you definitely want to stick with us because we're going to be able to see all the action. Send it back to you guys.
All right, Bill, thanks for that. Probably a good thing he couldn't hear Mike Lishniak laughing at him when he said that he needed a good rest if he swam that far, too.
I like that he assumes he could make it across there. That's pretty confident.
I would need the horse. All right, we're going to go back to Mike Lishniak now for another look at the weather. Mike, it does look like it's starting to clear.
It's been clearing for a little while, but here's the thing. If we go to live storm tracker radar, you'll see that it's starting to fill in on the backside. Here's the wide perspective, but let's zoom on in. Notice this was all clear about 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. Notice that this has started to show up. It may be drizzling, lightly raining as the horses start their way across the island, and then notice, across to the island, I should say, and then notice down to the south, a few more showers starting to develop. And again, most of this moving in this general direction, right along the coastline. And then for those staying for the rest of the activities later on today, there's plenty more rain where that came from. So it's going to be a soggy and dreary day in Chincoteague, even here on Delmarva. Temperatures stuck in the upper 70s and low 80s. And a live look from Ocean City South showing you a better view than what it was about 5-10 minutes ago, but it is still pouring rain in Ocean City, obscuring the view of Assateague Island. Back to you guys over at the desk.
All right, Mike, thanks for that. Something tells me people aren't going to care if it rains on them for the rest of the festivities today because they were able to see the marquee event, which is coming up shortly.
Yeah, once they start swimming, you don't care what the weather is as a spectator. Speaking of, we've been talking to folks all morning long, and our Angelo Bavaro has found another excited person waiting for those ponies to swim. Angelo?
Todd, we've been hearing a few cheers and claps, so I think things are starting to get close to that swim time. And if you take a look right here behind me, so we are, like I said, at the Marsh area. And if you take a look at the scene right here behind me, you can see that big crowd lining the water there, ready for this pony swim. And if you take a look to the left over here, you can see we've got two ponies there, two Saltwater Cowboys. Those are the guys who rounded up all the ponies here. So again, lots of excitement building here by the Marsh area. Lots of excited folks. We've been speaking to a lot of folks all morning long, and we are joined by another one, Meredith from Richmond. Meredith, how excited are we?
We are very excited. This is our first time here. So we're ready to see some ponies. So are all the people here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys decided not to get too close to the water there. You staying back a bit. Why is that?
Staying back a bit. The mud is pretty intense. So we're going to wait for the ponies to come through after they have their rest.
Cool. And what's the rest of your day looking like? Obviously, kind of the festivity stretch. Are you going to follow the ponies out into town and then check out the auction tomorrow?
We're going to follow the ponies back into town, and then we're going to hit the NASA Center, the visitor center for our little girls.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of excitement, like I mentioned, crowds building, and if you take a look, we've got some more folks coming through here trying to get that last-minute seat to the pony swim here. This has kind of been the entrance to the nature walk right here. You can see the crowds crawling under this deck. Again, guys, lots of excitement. We will send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Angelo, thanks. Well, as we mentioned, we don't have the availability of Chopper 16 this year due to the weather, but we did have it last year, and we want to show you some of what that looked like. This is what the pony swim looked like from Chopper 16 last year as the ponies were making their way into the water.
It's really, I was surprised how fast it goes once they're in. All this build up, it's maybe 5, 7, 10 minutes.
Probably seems longer to them.
I was going to say, yeah, and the shorter the better for them, right? Because once they get in, they swim pretty fast and make it across, which should be happening here in not too long. Most people's exposure, I think, to the ponies would be on the Maryland side of Assateague, where you see them on the beach and in that area roaming around. There is a big difference between the two, not the animals per se, but in Maryland, they are managed by the government, but in Chincoteague, in the Virginia side, they're managed by or taken care of by the fire department. And this is really a big fundraiser for the fire department by auctioning off some of the foals, which they'll do later on, to raise money so they can continue to manage that herd.
Yes, they do provide some veterinary care for the ponies throughout the year. And now we are getting close to the swim, so we want to make sure we don't miss a moment of that. And for that, we go back out to Bill Mitch. Bill?
Hi guys, we're back now. Kev's zooming in on you for, this is a good sign. We talked about the red flare. You can hear Denise on the loudspeaker again. The red flare means we are just about ready to get going. The Coast Guard has said right now this is slack tide. It's going to be the easiest time for the ponies to make their way across the water. We heard an alarm. I turned around, wouldn't know what it was. It kind of scared me, but it was for good news. The Coast Guard has sent that red flare up. They're going to start clearing the way, and the ponies way out there, they're going to start moving any moment. So it'll be a few minutes before they're able to make their way from way out there over to back over here where we showed you earlier, where they're finally going to be able to make that swim. But I'm listening to Denise right now from the fire department. She says they're about to start making their move to the marsh over here. And she's saying it's going to make about 4.5, 5 minutes for them to make the swim from over there to right here. So it'll be a few minutes before that swim happens, probably about 5 minutes for them to make it over here, and then we're in a good spot. It's going to be a great spot to be able to watch it. So again, red flare, good news. We're getting close. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Bill, thanks for that. This is it's harder to monitor this when you don't have that eye in the sky to see exactly where the ponies are coming down the island. So we're just going to keep sharing some facts with you for those of you who aren't familiar with how this whole thing works. Now, this is, as he said, it's a big fundraiser for the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company, and what they do is they will auction off those foals. It's also a way to control the herd. They say that this is one way to not only raise money, but it controls the number of the horses that are out on the island.
Right, don't worry, this is not a live shot. This is video from last year when we were on the boat out there. Speaking of which, the boats and the kayaks are a great way to watch this if you are so lucky. I think this is live, and you can see the ponies beyond the boats there on the Assateague Island side. They're going to swim across the channel to Chincoteague Island, but that is a live shot of the ponies getting prepared now as the Saltwater Cowboys get them right up on the water. And we talked about folks on boats and kayaks. They really get a great shot as those ponies come across.
Yeah, not to worry that this is, as Bill had mentioned, there is a very direct path that has already been pre-laid out, and those boats are kept far away from the ponies so they don't run into those. It's going to be pretty exciting. Now, the first foal that comes ashore today will be named King or Queen Neptune, and then will be given away in a raffle drawing at the carnival grounds later today.
Yet all the ponies have been checked out by a veterinarian just to make sure they are able to make this swim. Of course, safety is a concern for them. We don't need any health issues with the ponies coming across.
I think I see splashing water, Todd.
Do you?
I do.
Let's hope so. We've mentioned the slack tide, which is kind of an interesting term. You hear a lot about high tide and low tide, but the slack is a period of time, maybe 30 minutes or so, between the two tides when the water is at its lowest, really, and there's no current.
There's no current,
to make
most
it easier
importantly.
for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bill, can you hear us now?
I certainly can.
Okay, are you seeing some activity there? I think I'm seeing some splashing water. I don't know if you can see that from your vantage point.
Not, I mean, so what I'm looking at now is the ponies over, I guess, over on the Assateague side. They're in that marshy area. They're trying to make the Saltwater Cowboys are kind of moving that herd through that marshy area across the channel because they're trying to get them to the point over closer to where we are, where the swim would be the shortest, where they've designated that route for them to come ashore and then make their way down to be paraded over to the carnival ground. So they're splashing a little bit because they're making their way through that marshy area. So hopefully, you know, maybe next 5-10 minutes-ish, we'll be able to see the start of the swim.
All right, we're seeing more Saltwater Cowboys making their way down to the area there. Bill, what's the mood there right now? Are people pretty excited?
Incredibly excited, and I know there's a ton of excitement because we saw that red smoke, so we know we're getting close. And I think as much excitement as there is, there's also a little bit of, boy, I hope we start soon so it doesn't start raining again, because that blue sky that we saw when we first started our broadcast, that's gone.
Yeah, it looks
and
like a very small
we feel a couple
window.
Drizzles right now.
Right. We are really getting an idea
we're starting
of how,
to see a couple little drizzles.
I'm sorry, Bill. We're really getting an idea of just how marshy and mucky it is watching these horses go through.
Yeah, on a like we said earlier, on a good day.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Bill. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, you're right. It is incredibly marshy and mucky, and as we're standing here, the rain is starting to come down a little bit more, so everyone's popping their umbrellas up. So I'm going to do the same in just a moment, but it's incredible how quickly the weather's been changing all morning, from sunny to rainy, back to sunny again, and it looks like we're in another period of rain, but the swim's going to happen in the next couple minutes. It just might be a little bit more damp than we were all hoping.
Yeah, as we've said, the rain they're not concerned about. Obviously, you don't want a deluge of rain, but really it'd be lightning and severe winds that would cause an issue here for the swim. So even if it's raining, which you can see and hear now down in Chincoteague, they're going to go ahead with this swim as the ponies look like they continue to keep moving over a little bit to find that perfect spot to get in the water.
And the narrowest place, I think, is what's most important.
It's interesting the coordination that goes on here. We talk a lot about the Saltwater Cowboys, and these are the guys and gals who manage these horses or ponies rather. But you've also got the Coast Guard out there. They're really in control of this thing. Where Bill is at the end of that dock, you would find 4 or 5 members of the Coast Guard. They're the ones watching the water and making sure it's the perfect time to go. Bill, have you seen Coast Guard out there monitoring the situation?
Yeah, yes, guys, I apologize. It was the rain on the umbrella. It was a little tough to hear you, but there's a lot of Coast Guard boats out here, not only, to monitor the ponies, but as you mentioned earlier, Todd, the people in the kayaks and on the boats. It's just a matter of keeping everyone safe. So there's probably as many Saltwater Cowboys as there are folks out here from the Coast Guard, folks out here from the Sheriff's Office as well. There's a lot of people here, so they want to keep everyone as safe as possible, but there are 4 or 5, 6, maybe 7 Coast Guard boats out here making sure everyone stays safe on the water and the ponies make their way safely across as well.
Well, unfortunately, it sounds like it is really starting to come down. Now, we should probably mention that a few of these ponies have been designated as buyback ponies. Now, these are the ponies that will be allowed to actually return to Assateague Island and live out their days and help then replenish the herd.
Yep, I think we're back here live now on the Chincoteague side with Angelo Bavaro and a lot of folks waiting anxiously. There go the umbrellas and the raincoats. And Angelo, how is it where you are now?
Hey guys, so we are standing by the entrance to the Marsh area. Like I said, you can see these big crowds here. Guys, how excited are we to be here? There you go, lots of excitement, as I mentioned, to see these ponies. Downpour just started here in Chincoteague, but again, folks coming out here, they've got their colored umbrellas out here. They're wearing sandals, they're barefoot, muddy, a mess, but they are definitely excited to see these ponies. Now, what's interesting about this spot that these folks are standing on right now, all the ponies are gonna make their way off of the Marsh area and come right through here before heading through town. So perfect view once those ponies get out of the water. Again, downpour just started here in Chincoteague, but as you can see, plenty of folks out here enjoying the view, all set for this swim and to see those ponies.
All right, Angelo, thanks. One little tip, if you plan on going to this in the future, you see the folks in sandals there, flip-flops.
Right. Or even tennis shoes.
More power to them. But
absolutely,
that is not advised. You see the boots Angelo had on? That's what you want to wear if you have them, those big old, whatever you call them, the rain boots.
All right, they are in the water. As you can see, they are making their way across the channel.
This should take, as Bill has mentioned, about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more for these ponies. We keep our eyes on the little ones as well. The foals are in that mix there. And let's see what Bill is seeing from the dock right now.
Yeah, we're seeing them kind of in that water area over in that marshy area, and like I said, we're making our way over to the shortest area across the channel. I heard Jackie talk a little bit earlier, and I guess some folks were commenting about what the size of the herd was, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie, but I thought you said somewhere between 100 to 150, maybe 60 or 70 foals. Those are the young ones that are with those adult ponies. And the quickest foal to shore, whether it's a male or female, that'll be King or Queen Neptune. I know they're out here selling raffle tickets to see who will get to pick King or Queen Neptune as well. So that's a pretty cool little extra fundraiser that they're doing. So there's a decent amount of ponies that are going to be making their way across the channel here. They're in the water over there by the that marsh area. And I just want to comment real quick. I don't know if you noticed, it stopped raining. It was an absolute deluge for about 4 minutes there. All the umbrellas went up, and now they're coming back down. It's very confusing, the weather down here, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to blame Mike Lichniak because it's my favorite thing to do.
Well, and that's what's made this planning for this event so incredibly tiresome for these folks, is because they didn't know how bad the weather would be, or if it would create conditions that would postpone it till the afternoon, or even worse. So it's just great that it's even happening at all, and it's happening in the time they were hoping it would do.
Yeah, right on time. We said they said between 8 and 10 o'clock this morning. Here we are, a little shy of 8:30, and the ponies appear to be in the water, swimming. What you're mostly seeing there are the Saltwater Cowboys on their horses monitoring the swim, but I think maybe to the left of them you can see the ponies actually
it's really hard to get a perspective of if they're on the shore splashing along, or if they're actually making their way into the water.
But we did see a kayak
right
across that path.
We can, Bill. What do you have?
So, just trying to answer your question, it's a little tough for me too because I'm as far away as the camera is, but it appears that probably the Saltwater Cowboys are the ones that most likely are the ones in the water splashing around. They're on either side of the herd, trying to keep them, contained and walking towards the right area. So I think the Saltwater Cowboys are probably the ones mostly in the water. But over there being marshland, it looks, there's obviously some grass over there, but there's water underneath of it. So you're going to see some splashing as they make their way because it's a very mucky area, just like it is over here that everyone had to walk through as they were making their way here on Pony Swim Lane. So it's wet all over the place. So they're splashing from the horses, they're splashing from the people that are here watching. So we're all just trying to stay dry, and we're not doing a very good job of it, I'll be honest.
Well, that's okay. It's all part of the game today, I guess. We mentioned the the buyback ponies. They say that the buyback ponies have become some of the highest priced ponies in the whole event.
Yeah, that's a nice feature they
is.
have, because some folks, it's basically a charity then. People will buy the pony and then give it right back, and the money as well. So some folks come to the event fully prepared to not keep the pony. They are just going to pay a lot of money in the auction and then give the pony back. And one of the reasons they do that is to keep the herd at a certain number and keep the herd growing as well. As for the swim, I think Bill's right. It doesn't take that long to come across, so had they started when we initially thought they had started, we'd be seeing them pretty close.
Right, and it looks like they're much closer, I think, than they are, too. It looks
Correct,
like
that's a long way.
We have our extender on the camera.
It's hard to see with just your eyes really up close.
Now, we should mention the auction will actually be held tomorrow at the Carnival Grounds in Chincoteague.
Yeah, there is a lot that happens here when they get across, and we'll talk about this more extensively when they are on the Chincoteague side. Part of the excitement for folks is not just to swim, but after they rest for 45 minutes or an hour or so, and we'll see them right up against them, we'll be right there when they're in that marshy area. Then they do this cool little march past the house. There's a road that goes out to a main street, and it goes right by a couple of houses, and so people are standing there along the road. Oh, it's awesome when they go by, yeah. And then they have the parade down Main Street and end up over at the grounds, and then they'll have the auction tomorrow. So there's a lot that goes on to this even after the swim as well.
All right, Mike Lichniak is continuing to monitor the weather. Mike, that system looks like it's bearing down again.
Yeah, so this shower has been moving across Chincoteague over the last 5 to 10 minutes. We saw that huge deluge as Bill was giving us the play-by-play about that. This little shower is literally starting to train along the coastline. So you're going to see a pocket where you're going to have a deluge, and then it'll lighten up, and then it'll deluge, and it'll lighten up. And this is going to continue over the next 10-15 minutes. So as these horses make their way across the channel, just be aware that there will be rain falling in the area throughout the entirety of that swim.
All right, we're cleaning off the cameras to try to get a better look at the ponies.
I just wish I had better news for Bill than to say that it's not going to rain.
Yeah, but for the ponies, once they get in, it's not that long across, so
right.
They should be okay. And again, we're blocked obviously by the boats, and we can't see all that clearly. But now that I get a perspective here, they're going to be swimming left of these boats.
Right.
So
in fact,
yeah, all right.
there they
now
are
we
right
got a
there.
shot. If we were to pull out that camera a little bit, you get a better view of that. So the Saltwater Cowboys are moving them over, and this is a bit of a process. To the exact spot. So why you see boats in the way, that would be to the right, or I guess to the south of where the ponies are actually going to swim. So it's going to be a few minutes now as the Saltwater Cowboys move them to the left on your screen to get them in the right spot to swim across.
And once again, we don't have the view from Chopper 16, so we're unfortunately trying to just describe it from what we can see from our camera angle here. And you can hear Bill.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear Bill, and we can hear what's going on.
Wonderful. Good. So Kevin's going to pan around. He's going to pan past me and my big umbrella. So I apologize for that. And I know there's folks standing here on the dock, but the ponies, they're just about at the entryway to where we're about to start the swim. So it's about 30 seconds away. Again, Denise from the fire department, she's saying here they come. So it looks like they're about to start. So I'm going to kind of be quiet because you can hear all the people cheering. We're about to get a pretty cool show.
Well, we are looking forward to that.
And then they stop cheering, of course.
Well, they have been through quite a lot. Those people line up at what time? 3, 4 in the morning?
Yeah, some before that. If you're going to get that spot, and we'll see that a lot more when the ponies come across right on that fence area, you are there really early. We were there at, 3:30 in the morning last year, and there were folks there well ahead of us. And it is not easy to make it down to that spot in that marshy area.
And you can see, as Bill mentioned, parents hanging onto their children on their shoulders to carry them down there. So that was quite a trek.
It is.
There was one lady we spoke to when we first got here. I apologize for interrupting, guys. The one woman we spoke to when we first got here, I was standing on the dock and I looked at her and she was just bundled up and she had a rain jacket on. I said, ma'am, how long have you been here? And she said, it feels like days. And it probably did. But it sounds like we're starting to swim. So I think we're going to turn our attention that way. They're in the water.
Great.
Yeah, I think the crowd is our best indicator
Right.
of when the ponies are actually swimming, because you can hear them. And that means they must be seeing the ponies in the water. We're trying to get the best shot we can here of them starting to come across.
They're definitely in the water, guys. I can hear the smacking from the Cowboys. They're trying to keep that herd in check, but they're in the water. They can see the boats going back and forth. It should be just a second or a few moments before
Good
you're able
shot.
to see. There they are. They're
By
good
the
shot,
way,
Kev.
by
Well
the way,
done.
you
But
can
they're
hear that,
coming, and everyone's got
helicopter.
their cameras out.
Okay, and Bill, we want to bring our viewers into the helicopter is now in the area where it's safe enough to fly. We're just trying to get our shot from the Chopper 16, but right now we can see those ponies clearly in the water making their way.
And as Bill said, it's just head above the water. So that's some real swimming by them, especially the little ones. The foals trying to make it across.
But somehow, nature gets them there.
It happens.
They know what they're doing.
That's right. They do get a little antsy
And
being that close together. You can see some water kicking up, so I'm sure some are faster than others and kind of hoping, hey, move it along here. Let's get across.
That's
Right. Herd is only as fast as the slowest one, but you can hear the Saltwater Cowboys kind of almost like a whip. It sounds like they're cracking to kind of keep them in check, make sure nobody kind of swims away from the herd.
Right.
I'm a little jealous. Lauren Hitch on our digital team at WBOC, she's on one of the boats right now, probably getting some incredible video of these ponies and their heads
Right.
just above the water. But they're moving pretty quick. The herd's right here. I mean, I'm sure you guys got a great shot from Kev behind here on the camera.
We do have
and I'll
our
be honest with
chopper.
you.
We do have our chopper shot
Oh,
now.
wonderful. And
Yes. But oddly
I
enough,
have
we
my
had a better
camera in
shot
my
before.
hand, I'll be honest. I got my own.
Okay.
He'll get closer there.
Well, I got my own camera right here, and I'm standing underneath the camera, kind of waiting for the ponies
And
to come
there
to
they
shore
are.
because I'm hoping to get some good video too. But it's an incredible view. I mean, I understand why so many people come down just to spend 4.5 minutes watching these guys because it's just awesome to see.
And you know, this actually gives us a much, much better perspective of just how far it is because it looks like it's just across the way when you look from the other shot. But it is a little distance, but they are almost to the island.
They are, and I'm glad, real quick, Bill mentioned we do have a camera on a boat following the pony. So after this, we're going to have some amazing video and pictures on our Facebook page and our website to see of this event. But obviously they're getting very close now because they're close to our camera on the Chincoteague side. And our camera is right on the docks, and you're going to see them swim up to the left and start to crawl up that little marshy area. And we'll see who
And guys,
the first
I
foal
can
is.
hear those ponies now too.
You can hear them where
You can I apologize for cutting. You can finally hear them neighing. So that's when you know you're real close. And Todd, I apologize for cutting you off, but as we mentioned, it's just head and ears and noses. That's all you can see right now. But you can hear them as they make their way across. And I know the Saltwater Cowboys are anxious to see who the king or queen Neptune will be. But they're pretty loud. We can hear them pretty good. So they'll be probably coming up anytime, any second here. So just a cool thing to see.
It really is. It's almost like they swim in formation, like geese.
I was just going to say, like that A-frame or A-shape,
Chevron, yeah.
like the birds do. That's really interesting. I wonder, and we don't know enough about these animals, if there is a leader in that regard who
Well,
kind of leads the way up.
Well, I know that there are different horses that have different packs and different herds, and they will round up their mares at the end of this. But it's really interesting to see who emerges as the first one. King Neptune.
Here they come. Matter
Queen
of
Like an
seconds
adult
now
pony is about to come
before
out
they
of the
make it
water
up on
right
the marsh.
now.
Yeah, they've made it across.
You can hear the celebration goes up.
And for those folks who have not been there in person, it is daunting, a challenge, especially in a day like this, but this makes it all worth it. If you can see them come up, there is some real excitement to watch this, and there you go. The first ponies and foals are up on the shore.
And I'm watching across the way here. You can see the Saltwater Cowboys. They're pointing out who the first foal was. So they're keeping their eye on them. They're obviously going to let them rest for a second, but they have an idea of who the first foal was.
Oh.
We're not sure who that is just quite yet because they have a better eye than we do.
Okay, so it's the first foal, not the first horse, because that wouldn't be a fair fight.
Correct, yes, yeah. It's the first baby.
Right. The adults made it first.
You would hope. That would reflect poorly on the adults.
We are cheering on the foals, though.
And here they're still coming across,
They are.
And it is not a real big area
And
there. You
there's-
see it from Chopper 16, where they will be waiting and resting for 45 minutes to an hour. All right, our very patient Madeline Overturf has been waiting to join us. She is in the helicopter with that bird's eye view. Maddie, what do you see?
Oh, it's amazing, Todd. It's amazing to see. Yes, we've been very patient. So glad the weather turned out for us to see. Now, I'm seeing, it looks from my vantage point here, maybe about 7 to 8 more ponies still in the water, a few near the back coming up on shore. It's an incredible view here to see. And what's also amazing, other than the ponies themselves, is the crowd. I mean, this is my first pony swim, I'll be honest with you. There are kayaks, there are boats. You guys have seen this all morning, but it's incredible to see people who have come out to see these ponies. Now, again, it looks like 2 more just got out. 2 more just got out of the water, and it looks like the very tail end are coming through. It looks to me, if I can count, about 6 or so. I can't tell from my vantage point if they are colts or foals or if they're full-grown ponies. I can't tell. I'm sure Bill's got a better view for that. But there they are. They're enjoying being on shore. It looks like they're giving their legs a bit of a rest, because I would not want to swim that water, I could tell you that. But it's an incredible view to see up here. And again, all the people, I mean, we flew in a little bit out of the way to avoid some of the storms, and from a great distance from where these ponies are, there are still people standing along the shoreline ready for just even the tiniest glimpse of these ponies. It's really incredible to see everybody turning out here. It looks to me again now, I see another horse, a pony coming out of the water, and it looks like the last few are starting to get above water. I'm seeing their full bodies out. It looks again maybe 4 left that are still swimming. Taylor's got a great shot of that. You can see them coming out, and those are the last 2. It appears all the ponies have made it. Yeah, little guys, absolutely.
Good
so
for them.
It looks like everybody has made it. Mm-hmm.
Mom's coming over to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, it does appear that, I was just going to say, look at nature take its course, as it looks like the moms came over and said, come on now.
Yeah, hurry up, get out of the water, I'm tired, let's go. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, first order of business, obviously, is to get them across safely. And it appears that that has happened with those few little stragglers now have made it onto shore.
All right, Bill, do you have a better view now? Are people starting to clear away from you a little bit so you can see?
Yeah, I mean, we have a great view. I'm sure you're seeing it from Kevin and our camera right now. There was one straggler pony that tried to turn around and swim back, but they stopped him from doing that very, very quickly. So, like you guys were talking about, there'll probably hang here for about 45 minutes to an hour. They just swam across, so they're probably going to hang and eat the grass a little bit. And I'm sure you can hear them. I don't want to talk too loud, but they're very loud. And you'll see once in a while, maybe one pony will get too close to the other where they're eating. We'll see a few kicks, maybe a little bit. They kind of get a little rowdy, but they're wild horses, to be expected. We're trying not to get too close, but it's just a cool thing to see. And then to watch them in a little while get paraded through the streets of Chincoteague is even cooler. Kev, if you go over to the right here, there's one of the little foals just right in the water. He's not done swimming. He just wants to keep going. It's just, it's a very cool thing to see. It's hard to pick out the foals sometimes because they're mixed in amongst the larger horses. But and you see back here to the right, there's the Saltwater Cowboys kind of trying to push them away from the water a little bit, kind of come back up here on the grass a little bit closer, maybe to the fence where the people are, so just so they don't get the idea of trying to hop back in the water. But again, an incredible sight to see. As Maddie was saying, there are people everywhere, people that you wouldn't expect to see people. There are people standing underneath the dock where we are. Everywhere you turn, there's somebody else with their camera phone out trying to get a cool shot. And you know, it's hard to beat the shot we have, but I'm sure everybody's getting some pretty good pictures as well.
It's just fun to watch the interactions too among the different ponies. I'm no pony expert, but from what I've heard is that they have their little families and their little herds, and they're very territorial, and sometimes they mix with others that they're not used to mixing with, and that can cause a little ruckus once in a while, but they kind of get back into order once they're on the other side.
It's a good point, I imagine, given they're wild animals. They're not accustomed to being this bunched together, all of them at the same time. So that might come into play. You see those folks along the fence there. So the effort it took and all the time and the early morning before sunrise and walking through the marsh, that's why they do it. The payoff to be up against that fence and have those ponies that close to you after they made that trek across the water is all worth it.
Guys, we have one more. Kev, if you could pan to the right over here, we got one more coming in. He was not done swimming, and he's just coming in now. And that's why there was a little cheer there, because the last guy's finally coming into the water. He swam away. He wasn't done swimming yet. That is the final one, and there's another horse going out to meet him or her. I'm not a pony expert either, so I wouldn't want to guess if it was a male or female. But our final pony is now finally made it ashore. That's what that little cheer was.
Because as fun as this whole event is to watch, there's always a little nervous time toward the end just to make sure everybody does make it on shore safely. So that is excellent news.
Maybe he straggled getting into the water and started late. You know, and it wasn't
he was a
out
reluctant entrant.
Yeah. How about the gamers who want to turn around and go back? Are you kidding me?
Speaking of which, they do that Friday. They swim back Friday. So the ones that are not auctioned off will return to the island and live out another year.
And now this begins the rest of the event. After they rest here a little bit, we mentioned they're going to walk. They'll put them in a very narrow path. You can't see it right there, but where those people were against that fence, they're going to clear that spot out a little bit. They'll widen that out by 15, 20 feet. Those folks have to get out of the way, and then they will walk up this very narrow path to the road and then start the parade.
The parade,
yeah,
which has got to be something to see. All right, let's go back to Madeline Overturf now in Chopper 16. Maddie, they're all safely ashore?
They're all on shore now. As Bill described to you, seeing that little straggler come out was kind of adorable, and it was fun to see the other pony come in and say, hey, hurry up, come on, we gotta go. They're all looking very comfortable there at the moment. I keep noticing there's one pony that keeps sort of walking back and forth along the coastline, almost as if he's like, do not go back in there. Like, we are here, we've made it, this is our journey. And they're all moving slowly a little bit forward. I don't see any of them right at the water's edge anymore. And you were just mentioning the parade. It's worth mentioning from our vantage point, I'm seeing a lot of people heading that direction. I see a lot of golf carts lined up on the main drag, so it looks like everybody's now ready for the next wave of this event here. Again, the ponies right there, that line of people still very, very, very strong, and we're actually starting to see some boats pull away. I see these kayakers getting out. It is starting to rain up here. You can probably see that in our shot a little bit, so I can tell some people are trying to get out of here and get dry before the parade happens, and hopefully this weather doesn't stick around. Mike's the expert there. Mike, bring us some good news with that, but everything's looking great from here.
Yeah, Mike, Mike did a really good job of opening up that little window for the pony swim.
You know what? Sometimes the magic works. Every once in a while, it just pans out that we got the 30-minute window in. You can see from Chopper 16 here the deluge that has opened up once again. So the shower continues to pulse up and down. So now we're starting to see the rain coming down in buckets once again there. And again, there are more showers developing to the south of Chincoteague. So all we're going to do for the rest of the morning hours this morning is just see this wave of rain after rain after rain. So you're going to get rain, then you get a little bit of a break, then you'll get a little bit more rain, then you get a little bit of a break. I am still watching this area of showers well down to our south across Hampton Roads and eastern North Carolina, which is now starting to make its way across basically the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel area heading up into Northampton County. So there's a deluge of rain, a pretty good hefty amount of rain that's still on the way over the next couple of hours. So things are going to deteriorate not only in Chincoteague but all over Delmarva over the next couple of hours.
All right, Mike, thanks for that. And we should mention that Chopper 16 had to make another exit because of the weather, but we certainly want to thank our ace pilot Lee for getting in there and getting the money shot for the day. We got the ponies in the water, and that's what mattered. And thanks to Maddie for joining us also. Now, as we've been talking about, there are other events going on. There have been events all week in Chincoteague, but today they have the carnival from 7 to 11, and then Misty of Chincoteague's playing at the Island Theater. Might be a good indoor venue to head for. And then there's a STEM lab at Wallops today too. But by and large, this is the key event. So if it's a rain out after this, people probably won't complain.
No, you're there to see the ponies. But the carnival is fun, and one benefit to rainy or cooler weather is that carnival can get kind of hot in late July. You know, after you've been through watching the ponies, Last year was a little bit warm, so if the rain were to hold off a little bit, that would make the carnival area that much more pleasant because it won't be quite as warm.
All right, so let's just go back again to review what happens from this point on. They're resting up till they are sent to the carnival grounds in the parade, and then the auction will actually be held tomorrow. And then the money raised goes to the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company, and not only to help the fire company, but also some of that money is used to go back in the care and veterinary treatment for the herd.
Yeah, there is a pen at the grounds where they put them in. So after the parade, they'll just put them in a big pen to stay there all day and then tomorrow. So that's another benefit for the folks in town who are at the carnival. You can just go look at the ponies inside a pen, much as the folks on site are doing there. So they're going to put them in there, the foals with the adults, and they'll just stay there for the next day and a half or so before they do have that auction. When they swim back on Friday, it's just the adults, I believe, who swim back, because the foals are going to be auctioned.
Except for the buyback ponies.
Correct.
And then they return.
I don't know if the buyback ponies have to swim again or not. Do they make them
Well,
swim
there's
twice?
a question I didn't research.
Sorry, put ourselves on the spot. I wasn't calling. I didn't either.
Mike
so.
Lichniak, do you know the answer to that? Did they get a one-way plane ticket?
Getting a little nitpicky now, I suppose. That's really not all that relevant.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll return with the 2018 Chincoteague Island Pony Swim.
It's a new day on the Eastern Shore. Safford Automotive Group is now in Salisbury. Come see why over 250,000 people bought and serviced with us this last year. Safford offers the best prices, best selection, and best service. And now we're bringing the best to the Eastern Shore. Best prices on the best selection of new Kia Fortes, Sorrentos, Sportages, and Optimus. And always exceptional service after the sale. Now the choice is yours. Choose Safford. It's a new day on the Eastern Shore. Safford Automotive Group is now in Salisbury. Come see why over 250,000 people bought and serviced with us this last year. Safford offers the best prices, best selection, and best service. And now we're bringing the best to the Eastern Shore. Best prices on the best selection of new F-150s, Explorers, Fusions, and Escapes. And always exceptional service after the sale. Now the choice is yours. Choose Safford. It's a new day on the Eastern Shore. Safford Automotive Group is now in Salisbury. Come see why over 250,000 people bought and serviced with us this last year. Safford offers the best prices, best selection, and best service. And now we're bringing the best to the Eastern Shore. Best prices on the best selection of new Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams during the summer clearance event. And always exceptional service after the sale. Now the choice is yours. Choose Safford.
And welcome back. We have just watched the ponies come ashore. They are resting, and then they will be moving on to the carnival grounds.
All right, we'll check back in with the best seat in the house. That would be Mr. Bill Mitch, who's on the dock overlooking the ponies right now. Bill.
Todd, definitely the best seat in the house. I had my my little Osmo camera out here. I'll be honest with you, I was taking my own video as well as we were watching all this. Tough to beat this, and I know I'm talking on camera now, but I kind of want to go back to where we are because there's a gentleman over here in the tree. Kev, if you can pan to your left, he was up there watching the whole time, and that was obviously a great spot for him. You could see over all the crowd. Probably not the easiest thing to climb up, but he had a good spot. And Kev, if you just pan down, that's how close we are to some of these ponies. This guy's just munching away, doing his own thing, but a cool thing to see. And if you look, there's people right underneath the dock, so they're waiting for their perfect opportunity to snap a few photos. Now, as I was standing here, and just as we were in break just a moment ago, I saw a couple of the Saltwater Cowboys. They were out amongst the herd, and they found the King or Queen Neptune. Again, I don't know if it was male or female, so I apologize, but they kind of corralled him a little bit, and there's an orange string around his neck, or her neck, I'm not sure. But that's how I know who King or Queen Neptune is. So they certainly found him, and they have marked him, and obviously that'll be announced once they get paraded through town and make their way back out to the carnival grounds over there. So, Kev, if you could do me a favor, just swing back one more time, because I know, Todd, we were talking about how marshy and mucky it is. All the people...
Oh, dear. We have lost Bill's microphone, but we will get that back up and running. He just mentioned King or Queen Neptune. We should mention that will be given away in a raffle drawing at the carnival grounds later today, so that'll be exciting.
Right, you see those folks starting to make their way back up that marsh. They're going to start to line that area when the ponies get walked up to the main road and then into town. All right, speaking of that spot, Angela Bavaro has been hanging out with the folks down there, and we've talked all morning that people come from far and wide to watch this event. Angela's found another one.
Guys, things are starting to pick up back here by the marsh again. If you take a look right here behind me, you can see the line of folks braving the slush here, making their way back off of the marsh. We are waiting for the ponies to pass through here. Now, again, we are standing at the front of the marsh, so the ponies are going to be marched right through here, and then they're going to head over to the auction. Now, we got a viewer question about the auction. So basically, all of the ponies are herded up, taken to the carnival, and then they're auctioned off tomorrow. Now, there's a thing called buyback ponies, which is pretty interesting. Those are ponies that are auctioned off, but they return back to the island. So people get the naming rights, but they will return back to the island. Again, this is all to control that herd size. I know I'm a pretty big expert at this, but we have found one other expert, Gordon here from Oklahoma.
Hi.
Gordon, you are an expert. You wrote a children's book on
Wrote a
this.
children's book, Nicholas Goes to Pony Swim.
Yep.
I brought my little boy over here for 3 years, took pictures of it, and every picture has got, or every page has got pictures of a horseshoe hidden in it.
And what's
so the little kids, they may not be able to read, but they can, ooh, there it is, I see that.
And you talk a little bit about, I mean, you're from Oklahoma. What's the interest in the pony swim here?
Well, I originally from North Carolina. I moved here, I was in Chincoteague for 7 years and then moved back out to Oklahoma. But I took enough pictures there, missed the little boy enough, and decided to put a book together.
When you come back year after year, what's the excitement? You know, what brings you back every year?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, if you plan on staying clean and pristine, you'll be miserable. If you are fully prepared to throw away the clothes you've got on, get muddier than you've ever gotten in your entire life, you can have a ball out here.
And that's what we're seeing right now, right?
They're going to be you're going to find lots of loose shoes laying around here. I see one there behind you where you step in, you're buried in mud up to your knees, and then a couple of feet later you decide, yeah, we don't need the other shoes either. It's fun.
And I can agree. It's very fun. A mess out here, but it is very fun. And let's look at the shoe right here. That's what we're seeing out here as these people make their way back. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
That probably just sums up how the morning went for a lot of folks. But what an experience. As he said, if you're going to stay clean and pristine, you're going to be miserable.
What a great line.
Probably applies to a lot of things in life. By the way, we should also mention that the proceeds from the sale of one foal every year goes to a regional charity. Past recipients have included Wounded Warriors, Hospice, Palliative Care of the Eastern Shore, and Alzheimer's Adult Care. So all very worthy charities.
Yeah, this is one big fundraiser for that charity and others, and the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department. They manage this herd on the Virginia side, as we mentioned earlier, unlike on the Maryland side, which is managed by the federal government.
And it's interesting just to see how many people have made it their lifelong goal, not only to come down and watch this event, but a lot of them come down and get a pony. They want to get a pony at auction and take it home and have it there on their property and we've heard from people over the years that have bought several and have them on their property. Right. So it's quite the event. This is from earlier from Chopper 16 when we were able to get a shot, and then this is obviously on the ground, the ponies coming across. It took a little while to get in the water and find that perfect spot, but they made it. And what did it take? 5 minutes?
About 5, not long, except for that straggler. We might have taken 8 to 10, but you know.
He was trying to call Uber from the other side.
He wasn't having it.
No, he
wasn't.
But
he made it across.
We don't have much time left, but we do want to check back in with Mike Lichniak for a look at this storm system and how it's moving through the area and how that might affect events for the rest of the day. Mike?
Well, guys, you know that straggler that you saw there? That's me when I'm in the swimming pool. I'm always the last one trying to get to the shore. So I feel for him. That's my spirit animal, was that last pony that came across. Live storm tracker radar, for the most part, is dry. Let's zoom on in Chincoteague and show you that we are seeing these pulses of rain, and then we get a break, and then we get a rain, and then we get a break, and that'll continue. As you can see, as we put radar into motion, there are still a couple more showers that are beginning to flare up, so they'll be moving across over the next 30 minutes or so. The parade starts in about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour from when they crested. It's going to be close, but if you're going to be standing out on Main Street heading towards the parade, be sure to have the umbrellas handy, the galoshes, everything that you can to stay dry, because there is a plume of rain that is moving across southern Delmarva and heading in that direction over the next hour or two. You can see that here on Futurecast, very well depicted, that once the rain does start, it's pretty much not going to stop over the next few hours. Temperatures stuck in the upper 70s and low 80s. And then the good news, if you're sticking around in Chincoteague, if you're sticking around here across Delmarva, maybe enjoying some time at our area beaches, We will start to dry out tomorrow, and for a couple of days, we'll actually see ample amounts of sunshine. That is good news on this front.
It is good news. It's also good news for the return swim on Friday.
Yep. Good luck to them on that. Well, it's been another successful Chincoteague Pony Swim.
Yes, it has, and we're glad you could join us. We will make sure to have all of this on our website. We're going to have it on Facebook. If you didn't have a chance to see it, we're going to have it on all our different venues, and so you will be able to see. And here are the horses right now live in Chincoteague as they are still in their resting period. As Bill mentioned, they will be making their way from this area to the carnival grounds, up through the street there, and people are starting to line the street to watch these animals in action in their next phase of the pony swim.
Yeah, it's a well-deserved rest for them. Again, a quick recap, they're going to march into town. They'll be then put into a pen at the carnival grounds, and the auction of the foals will happen tomorrow. There will be some buyback foals. Some folks will donate money to buy a foal and then give it right back, and then they are left in the herd to keep the population strong.
We should also mention the Feather Fund. It helps kids buy ponies at the auction that might not otherwise be able to afford them, so that is another worthy cause that we want to mention. So yeah, it's just a fun event to watch, and it's so wonderful that it happened at the time that they were hoping it would happen. Perfect timing.
Just right. We're going to thank Mike for the nice weather.
Yes, thank you, Mike, and thank you for joining us. We hope you will join us again next year for this event. We will be covering it again.
And we've had multiple cameras out there all morning, so for a complete wrap-up, you'll be seeing that all afternoon on our newscast coming up today at noon, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. Thanks for being with us this morning. Have a great rest of your day.